So we are just a few weeks away from the Democratic National Convention and the Republican Convention. And as we gear up for the Democratic National Convention, which was of course supposed to be held in person, there are a set of committee meetings that take place every 4 years before the convention. Really up until 2016, most people didn't notice, most reporters didn't care. Maybe something would happen, one of these meetings that would change the rules for next time around. And there were absolutely a few meetings in which valuable resolutions came out of it that changed the course of how we run our primaries. Whether or not we had commissions that set up superdelegates, whether we got rid of union members and brought in lobbyists into the DNC. These are all things that came out of those types of committee meetings and commissions. They're wonky, most people don't pay attention to them, they're made up of party activists and, in many cases, hacks. But as we roll in this time around, it's a little different. So in 2016, of course, all eyes were on the convention. I was a delegate, and it was pretty exciting to see how many activists, pretty much half of the convention was made up of activists, of teachers and workers and union members and MTA workers. I mean, I'm just thinking the people that were around me in my section and just the beautiful stories that they all had that led them into supporting Bernie Sanders, running for delegate, raising money to get to the convention, to share rooms with their fellow delegates. And in some cases, they sat on these committees, the Platform Committee and the Rules Committee, which were in the lead up to the convention. They saved their money so that they could affect change in the party that they still consider themselves members of, but were supporting Bernie Sanders. I had never seen anything like this at a convention before. I usually just saw suits, fundraisers, consultants, longtime party members, and activists, but not organizers, not everyday people. This was a new experience for them, and it was a new experience for the traditional partygoers too. And when they were all brushed up against each other in the 2016 election, in which Secretary Clinton did not go in with the overriding number to clinch the nomination, there was an opportunity for Bernie Sanders to exert real change in exchange with giving his delegates to Secretary Clinton so she would get the nomination. You guys saw it. If you didn't, go back. Definitely encourage you to watch some of those meetings and the coverage from that time period. This time around, it's all virtual. This time around, Bernie Sanders, who also came in second, just like last time, he got out of the race early. And many who had been the activists on his side complained about that because they would be losing power and leverage and potentially delegates to hold on to the reforms that were passed in the last 4 years. The longer Bernie stayed in the race, the more delegates he would acquire, which meant he had more votes to protect the reforms and push other issues in the Democratic Party. I was on the Platform Committee in 2016. We had the most exciting Platform Committee hearings probably in the history of the Democratic Party. We passed the most progressive platform in the history of the Democratic Party. But at the end of the day, no Democrat is held to that platform. No Democrat is told, you don't get our line, our Democratic Party line, if you don't stand by this platform. There are plenty of elected officials out there who don't stand by the Democratic Party platform. Plenty of candidates that get the nod of the DCCC or the Democrat, the DSCC, if they don't follow that platform. In many cases, more so even. So we put a lot of energy into the Platform Committee hearings with activists and organizers giving speeches on the floor, fighting up against consultants and lobbyists, and really trying to make a case for the soul of the Democratic Party. It was a metaphor for the fight over the soul of the Democratic Party in 2016. But we also learned our lesson. At the end of the day, all of that energy, all of the activism, all the fighting that came out of that meant nothing because the platform is a piece of paper. Now, if Bernie were to have won the nomination this year, that piece of paper would be valuable. He would be choosing who is the chair of the DNC. He would be able to bring in more DNC members that believed in his mission. And they exist, by the way. If you recall, Keith Ellison, he almost beat Tom Perez because the DNC, whether they supported Bernie or not, want reforms. But this time around, the Platform Committee was an opportunity for the establishment to say, sure, exercise all your energy on this meaningless piece of paper because Joe Biden is going to be our nominee and possibly our president. and he will get to choose who's the DNC chair next time around. Last time it was about Bernie running in 4 years. This time it's about exhausting the activists. And then you have the Rules Committee. The Rules Committee, this time around before the convention, what's really at stake here is whether or not the Unity Reform Commission reforms that were passed a couple of years ago, that took 2 years to debate and analyze and assess and write the language and pushed off to another committee and then pass it in the DNC, and then it had to go through the Rules Committee. And finally, we have this set of reforms that change the rules of the Democratic primary process for presidential primaries. And now they're about to expire. And now the Rules Committee, which is appointed by Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden and Tom Perez members, is possibly going to scratch out all those reforms. That's what's at stake. And unfortunately, because Bernie didn't stay in longer, he has fewer Rules Committee members. Unfortunately, Tom Perez gets his choices, and shocker, many of them are consultants and lobbyists. Unfortunately, Joe Biden has appointed some establishment folks. Unfortunately, I regret to inform you that I think some of these reforms will not stay. That's what's at stake. So why do we care about these things? Why does it matter? Can't we just go third party? What is the point of all this? Well, the point of all this is that they control the chessboard. Based on how we work electoralism in this country, they control the chessboard. Which is why, if Joe Biden is elected, we really should fight harder, because it's not going to be about Donald Trump anymore. It's going to be about Joe Biden being a good Democrat, about being a progressive, about Joe Biden recognizing that we're facing an economic crisis that we've never seen in the history of this country, that we're facing a health crisis that we've never seen in the history of this country. The way that it all comes together at once. We've had pandemics, we've had depressions, we've had recessions, we've had people indebted, but we've never had it all together, with the largest, most diverse generation in history about to take power, millennials, and with climate change right in front of our faces. That's what's on the line here. And they control the chessboard based on our election laws. So I want to announce that we are going to be doing a special set of shows during the DNC. Every single day, the DNC, we are going to be doing a special show. Make sure to click subscribe and like, and stay tuned and follow us on social media at The Nomiki Show on Instagram and Twitter, because we're going to be posting updates. It's going to be a super exciting show. Nobody, cable news or otherwise, is going to be able to offer you this type of perspective. We're going to bring in DNC members and DNC experts and historians and election experts. We might even bring in a Republican, just shake it up and debate them. Why not? Why not? Very excited about the series that we're going to do for the DNC, and we're also going to do it for the RNC. Thanks for watching and listening to The Nomiki Show. But remember to click like and subscribe on YouTube, and please share on social media. If you're not already a patron, please join us for as low as $5 a month on patreon.com/The Nomiki Show for early and special content. That investment makes a huge difference. We are not corporate media raking in the dough. It's really you guys that are keeping us going. So please consider being a patron. And to our current patrons, thank you so much. We are incredibly grateful to you. We also now have swag. So check us out on thenomikishow.com to get your mugs, your totes, and your stickers.